very warm and good welcome to you. It's Gene from the Mavestar Observatory. Hi guys, I give the UK a heads up 48 hours ago that this was going to happen, and if you want to check the video, they had at least 24 hours or even a little bit more than that to prep for this. I said it was going to happen, and lo and behold, it happened. Problem is that these people that was caught up in this atrocity and floods, flash floods, just similar to what we saw in China. Luckily, no one died, or at least I know no one died, but they were given 1 hour's notice. It was that short a notice, they couldn't get the flood defence in place, and it flooded, just like it did in China, an underground tube station. You know, if you're going to have high humidity, and then the temperature's going to go lower, following along with it the barometric pressure, you're going to have a lot of water drop out the sky very quickly. And you know, the Met Office need to get on board with this. This is not, you know, new technology. You don't need new computer models to understand, you know, basic chemistry and how it works with regards to pressure and heat. You should already know this. And you know, that was a poor effort from the Met Office in ill warning the people. I said 48 hours ago that this was going to happen, and you know, we are still not out the neck of the woods yet, because the possibility of us seeing more of this is more so than less likely. Anyhow, you know, I don't want to blow my own trumpet. I don't even follow the weather like I did on this event and get it right all the time, but on this occasion I nailed it 24 hours before it happened, and it shouldn't come to any surprise. The reason why I was paying attention to it is because I was focused on what was going on in Europe, and they should have been also at the Met Office. If it was that close in Belgium, Germany, they should have been more aware that this was more likely to happen than less likely. So anyhow, let's move on. Before I do, I want to say a big special thanks just to a few people that over the last few days have, you know, chucked in a few bucks to the observatory. Special thanks to you, Mark, Sydney, Jack and John, and JBM, Jim. Thank you very much for your support. And guys, if you want to help support what we do here at this observatory, and it can pay off for you guys, you know, with the information that we get, and look what happened here, there's a prime example, then there's a link down there in the description. You know, we don't raise a lot of money at the observatory, yet we are international. We've got magnetometers in a lot of different countries bringing back data, and you know, we are on top of this rare event that humanity's going through. Now, talking about, you know, weather systems, you know, humidity, temperature and barometric pressure, you know, these are all things that are part of the jet streams. And you know, if we're watching these jet streams break down like they are, you know, we can make some predictions that might, you know, prevent somebody losing their entire wealth. Over the last week, I have seen people crying their eyes out because they have lost everything that they've worked for. These are elderly people that own their own home. I don't think they had insurance, and they got wiped out in hours. They was asleep while it came, the floods, and washed their homes away, washed all the belongings away, and what was left the next morning was mud. And in some cases, some real sad cases, people have lost their lives. It's not just you know, the floods that we're seeing, it's the high temperatures that we're seeing. You know, we're seeing droughts damaging crops, floods damaging crops, floods damaging property, you know, droughts creating tinder dry, you know, ignitable fuel. And that's what we're seeing in America, you know, fires raging out of control, covering millions of square meters, you know, fires raging out of control in Canada. Even though the fire seasons came earlier, there's a reason for it. It's because the temperature and the dynamics of our planet in my view now, and I'm convinced with what I've seen over the last 2 weeks, we are seeing a transformation, and we have definitely crossed over a line, and we're going to start seeing a lot more of this, and we need to get our eyes on the ball and focus, because you know the professional companies that are in charge of this are doing a poor job at the moment of informing the general public. You know, it is not okay to give the general public an hour's notice to get the flood defences in place, to prevent a tube station flooding, to prevent somebody's car merging underwater. That's unacceptable in this day and age with all the technology we've got. You know, these guys have satellites, for God's sakes. Guys, moving on to what we've had coming from a couple of our stations, one in Perth, Australia, the other one in Canada. Both of these guys are our superstars. Let's have a look at the data that they've sent. So first of all, hitting the ground running with one of our superstars down in Perth, Australia. He's had a couple of technical problems with power outages, and all this I can say is, Jeff, don't worry about it. We've had some great data off you in the past. I know you made an effort to give us some data this time round, and we can learn a lot from what we've got, because we see it isn't doing a lot over the 24-hour period of the data sets that we've got and we're looking at right now. We know it's not uncommon for your data to fluctuate between 2 microteslas, and that is exactly what we're seeing over that period of time that you've recorded just this bit of data. Like I say, it happened to me with the Trimag system only a couple of weeks ago on the last location of the magnetic North Pole. When we took the data out, we only had about 20,000 data sets, but we were still able to pinpoint the magnetic pole position with that amount of data. Usually we have 300,000 data sets, so it's a hell of a lot. So we can see what you've got. Big thanks for you sending the data, staying with the team. Be nice to see some muon data coming from your location, your observatory down there, and we can relay that data that you get in the future to all the subscribers, which are growing, by the way, guys. We've had an extra 200 subscribers in the last 28 days. I know it's not, on the grand scheme of super YouTubers, good, but I'm just pleased, that there are more people now realising that what we're doing is of worth and service. So for me, 200 subscribers is amazing, and I'd just like to welcome them new subscribers to the channel, as well as the new people that come and view the information on the website. 15,000 people a week. It sometimes blows my mind. We have 15,000 people view the website a week. It would just be great if more than a couple of people a week would press that donate button and make a little contribution to the the service that we provide there. And I'm sure that when things really do start to accelerate and change with the magnetic pole, there is going to be more interest drawn to that website because of that, because we could be seeing information change on a 24-hour period of time. And if that's the case, we won't be doing the readings every month like we do on the 17th. We'll be doing them as and when it is needed, so that we can get a heads up of what's going. But what the main point is here, guys, is we've got the equipment in place ready for it to happen. It's not like what happened with the Met Office in the last 23 hours, where they issued just 1 hour's notice of a change, because I'm pretty sure that if we get to the last hour, we already know that there's trouble if there are cars floating down the streets. We've also had another one of our superstars, like I say, Kendall in Canada, who gives us his not Trimag data, his muon detection data and his magnetosphere data with his magnetometer every month, and his muon data every week. So let's have a look at what he's sent in. So looking at the data that Kendall, one of our superstars, have sent us in, we can see that in general nothing too unprecedented has happened. You can see, as well as I can, that after about a week of the data coming in, or just over a week and a half of data, there is a slight increase in microtesla. It lasts for around about a week and then drops back down to a nice steady line. Not sure what caused that anomaly in the magnetic field around Canada where Kendall lives, but you know, you can't just, when you get data like that and see anomalies like that, write them off as just uncertainties. There's always a reason for something happening. It could be on the very low end of things, just the fact that the magnetometer was slightly moved. It could be that there was, you know, at that point in time, more buffeting from the magnetosphere interacting with solar pressure or solar winds or CMEs, you know, but we can't write it off. We can go back over the time period of when it started to when it ended and see, you know, on WASA, you know, some of the tools that we can get from NASA, whether at that point in time we was being interfered with by, you know, CMEs or solar radiation or even something else. But I will say, you know, the magnetometer data that we collect here at the observatory and the TriMag data does show on the 7th of the month every single year a slight increase, and that could be for many reasons. You know, we'll have to really, you know, start digging into some of the possibilities of what could be causing these minor anomalies to take place. But you know, thanks to you, Kendall, and you, Jeff, for sending in the data, and you know, we'll keep doing what we can here to keep people informed of the changes that are taking place. Now, sometimes I just want to say this before I go. We might not see massive changes and be able to make predictions, you know, because what we're looking at is just, you know, ticking along, very gradual. You know, only 4 or 5 miles does the magnetic North Pole migrate easterly towards Russia every single month. But that doesn't mean tomorrow those things can't change. That doesn't mean the magnetosphere can't change tomorrow. The main point is that we've got the equipment in place and that we are on it. You know, we are following these things, and that if we do spot dramatic changes, that will be what the purpose of this observatory was all about to start with. And that means that we have an opportunity to inform others of dramatic changes as and when they occur. That's why we've got this equipment, and that's why we go out our way. Tomorrow we'll do an Earth Health at a glance, which covers all the other things like volcanoes, earthquakes, muon readings, radiation readings, CO2 readings, as well as other things, as you guys know. And join us. That's the only thing I can say. Guys, it's not every day you get to predict a flash flood like I did, but we nailed it. And the only other thing to say is, you know, isn't it worth supporting an observatory that gets it right? If you think so, link down there in the description. And the only other thing to say is, you have a great evening, take care of your loved ones, and as always, bye for now.